Hello and welcome. My name is Marlene and it's lovely to see you here. Now, alone and feeling lonely are two different things. I'm an introvert and live in a van and very happy to do so. But I realise that there are people out there that feel lonely because they are in a van because they've been forced into it. But also, you can still feel these same feelings in a house. It doesn't really matter where you live. I find that having these four little walls are quite comforting. Living in a house, I used to feel scared because I'd hear a noise in another room and I wouldn't want to leave the room I was in where I knew I was secure to investigate the sound in the other room. So thankfully, in this van, I don't feel that way. But even I can feel lonely at times, and I think the secret that I've found anyway is analysing straight away. Why? Why am I suddenly feeling lonely? It'll usually be brought about by a feeling of inadequacy, or I've got something playing on my mind that I'm finding difficult to find an answer for it, or I'm lacking confidence in a task I might have to do. And I find that that's how it shows itself. It'll show itself as a loneliness, a feeling of loneliness. Now, once I've analysed what the actual cause is, I find that it's much easier to deal with. If it's a problem that I'm struggling with, then the best way to solve that is to seek an answer. Now, whether that's phoning family or friends, or visiting them, or doing some research online, which is what I tend to do. I think what happens is, for me, it's usually at dusk when everybody else has retreated to their homes and you go into yours. That's when the the loneliness can kind of creep in. But as I say, nipping it in the bud and finding a solution to the real problem is the best answer. It can also be because you're feeling tired or if you're ill. Both of these times you're feeling particularly vulnerable and would relish a nice comforting word or someone giving you a hug just to feel a little better. But once you realise that this is all you need, then you can either choose to find someone to give you a hug or give someone else a hug. That's a that's a sneaky way of getting um, that nice warm fuzzy, and there's nothing wrong with that. Another thing I tend to do is I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I know, I'm guilty. But I choose to watch things that predominantly teach me things because I've always loved learning. And I think you're never too old to learn. And not only watching the videos, but reading the comments because there are some really wonderful, encouraging people out there. And when you read them, that makes you feel in a better place. When you're isolated, you don't hear a lot of positivity because you're usually telling yourself off. I talk to myself, I'm dreadful at it. But if I watch those YouTube videos, which are uplifting to start with, then read the comments, then I'm starting to feel a lot better. And that's really because a lot of those videos that I watch, the channels in particular, are ones I frequently watch. So therefore, they become part of your family, your extended family. And once you start to look at the comments, you recognise names and you can put your 10 cents worth in. That's at night usually, but during the day, when I'm out and about, because I keep myself pretty busy during the day, if I go shopping to the supermarket, I tell you, those guys that return the trolleys to the supermarket they do give me a smile. I'll chat to them, and some of them have got dry sense of humour. Some of them haven't got any humour at all, but that's okay. And I frequently go to opportunity shops, charity shops, whatever you might like to call them. And I'm such a regular shopper there that the people there know me by sight, and they'll always strike up a conversation. So don't be afraid to just chat to people. Be the first one to give a smile, and you'll get one back. If they don't, well, their loss, isn't it? But those are sort of things that I do, that I try to be proactive in my being friendly. And you don't know what other people are going through. The ones that are miserable are usually miserable for a jolly good reason. And you might be the only one that smiled to them in a very long time. The fact that you don't get a response, that's not a negative thing. It just still goes in there, and they recognise it for what it is. It's an act of kindness. And predominantly, humans are friendly, happy people. There's only a few that aren't. Because humans inherently are very loving people. We're loving creatures. And therefore, you give love, you're bound to get some back. Not that that's the reason we do it, but it's just the way it is. It can't be resisted. Now that's the sort of loneliness that's fleeting. That's what I'm talking about there. But the loneliness that sets in, there's usually a good reason for that, and it can quite often be a lack of self-worth, a lack of a goal, lack of direction in life. Now, if that's happening to you, then please consider joining a group of some kind that's of an interest to you, like whether it's bike riding, walking, all sorts of games, sports, rock hounding, anything like that, because those people are straight away, they've got something in common with you. And the best way to get out of a rut where you're feeling constant loneliness is to get out with other people and to be in a positive environment. And when you've got a goal, like you meet once a week, twice a week, whatever it is, it's something to look forward to. And we need things to look forward to. Because if we don't have that lack of direction, don't have it? If we have a lack of direction, sorry, then every day just blends into the next day, doesn't it? But if you've got something to look forward to, and as I say, those groups are there, there's many of them in my district, and I'm sure you have them as well. And if not, I'm a strong advocate for you start one, because you'll find that there's people out there just like you, and nothing better than planning an outing and having a laugh and supporting each other. Living alone isn't always about loneliness. In fact, living alone has a great deal of advantages. I think it teaches you how to fend for yourself, gain confidence. So there's lots of good attributes. I touched on loneliness because quite often I get asked about that and being scared. And neither of those affect me in any serious way. They are just normal parts of human life. So they aren't issues for me. I just wanted to share how I deal with them, and hopefully it may help you. But living alone does have some benefits. I don't have to share anything. I can snore. I can do anything I like without having to ask anyone. So living alone is actually quite great. As I say, for an introvert, suits me down to the ground. Living alone has its challenges because it means that you have to do everything yourself. You can't just say, oh, can you do that for me? I don't feel like it. You have to jolly well use your own imagination to solve the problem, or get up and do it yourself at least. Well, I've had quite an issue today with trucks going by, so if this video seems a little bit disjointed, I do apologise. But thank you so much for joining me. As always, I really, really appreciate you. And until next week, you have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.